and welcome to damn it. Let me start that over. Hello and welcome to the Steel Cage Podcast, episode 258. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as a guy that completely forgot how to start this podcast, also occasionally known as 2Pi Tony. And I'm joined by, of course, my two friends to talk about all the wrestling we saw this week. First, to my left, he's occasionally known as a hater of ball, testicular, dog talk, as well as, also being the Wangman. It's Neo X.
Well, shit, once you start talking about dog balls, all you guys want to talk about is dog balls.
I know.
It was a long talk about dog balls.
I mean, if you get us talking about dog balls, we will talk about dog balls for days.
It happens.
But you know what? This can be a definitely good segue for a PSA. You should spay, neuter your pets.
Yes.
Oh, good call.
Thank you, Bob Barker. You've ingrained that in my mind.
Absolutely.
And if you're a shit king, you should neuter yourself.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Dave can't stop humping. So we decided that he should neuter himself, and he did. So Dave's
thank you,
neutered.
Patreon. Thank you for paying for that.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Patreon. The other verse you've heard, awesome. Of course, I guess the left nut to Dave's right nut. Winter might have came, but he hasn't even broke a sweat yet. It's Uncle Peak.
I'm hanging a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's always weird how that happens.
Shaved, clean.
Yeah, clean shaved. Well, boys, winter came. Like I said, winter is coming, and it has came. And we had one fucking hell of a match between Adam Page and Bryan Danielson.
I gotta know your guys' take on that, because the wrestling Twitter was definitely in an uproar. Some people loved it, some people hated it. Thoughts?
I will say I don't know how you could hate it, because it was such a fucking great match. I know it ended in the time limit draw.
They call it the 60-minute Broadway.
60-minute Broadway.
That's what they call it.
I'm not mad about a 60-minute Broadway. I'm not mad about what they did. I'm not mad about this entire feud. It's crazy how quickly this became one of my favorite feuds in wrestling. How quickly Bryan Danielson went from, our darling in AEW in a tournament to being this just absolute shit king, in Neo's words, who, like, the entire match, the way he was just smiling and fucking with Adam Page.
It was the
mind games.
It was the ducking into the ropes.
The ducking into the ropes, right?
I love that.
He reminded me of like an evil Dean Malenko. Like he knows every
regular
rule.
Dean Malenko.
Yeah, well, sure. And a more
evil Dean Malenko.
Yeah, a more sinister Dean Malenko.
No, you know what made it
one.
even more evil was the lackadaisical jumping jacks.
Oh my God! Yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
You ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit.
Cardio,
your daddy ain't shit. Yeah, that.
I can see why people hated it, dude. It's like kissing your sister. We got a tie here, but
it left it open, man.
I'm just making fun of those people.
I know, dude.
The art of wrestling. The art of wrestling is sometimes a beautiful story can end in a draw. You're like, holy shit, these guys took each other to the limit and they couldn't get it done. Yep. And I was like, when we were at 25 minutes, I think that's when I tweeted out, are they going to go an hour? Because I just had a feeling these fuckers are going to go for an hour. And I like an hour-long match. They can be good. I've watched an hour-long match where the first 25 minutes, the guys didn't touch each other. They stood there and just stared at each other the whole 25 minutes. And that was an amazing story. You think you would be a fucking annoyed. It's not for everybody.
I'm gonna knock
of a
it.
match.
I'm gonna knock it.
It was a beautiful match.
Although I've never tried
I want to see it.
I'll knock it.
I want to see it.
It involves Go from Noah, but I'll give it to you guys.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, sometimes it's just about storytelling. We don't need to have a resolution, but a lot of people need to have a resolution. They need to have finality. And we didn't get it this time, guys, but that means we get more of this.
It leaves it open, right? It lets the mind wander.
Yeah, the story's not done with these two by no means.
Well, the thing that that really spoke out the most was the fact that it ended when you knew Hangman could have gotten the win. When he dropped the last Deadeye. Right. And then when he dropped the last buckshot lariat. And there just wasn't enough, as JR says, wherewithal to get the pin.
Well, no, because there literally wasn't enough time. The minute that he hit that buckshot lariat, he started crawling over to make the pin, and they called the time limit.
He should have just gone for a regular lariat. That's where he screwed up. It was that extra flip off the ropes that gave him those two. Well,
that's where all that momentum comes, buddy.
Yeah, that's where the extra power
physics.
comes from.
That's physics, baby.
Here's something funny. Bringing
science.
Up the buckshot lariat,
scientific closline.
That's
one in the eye.
It's one of the reasons why I didn't like Adam Page originally when he would do it, because I thought it was such a fucking. It was like in my opinion, when I first saw it, it was like akin to 619. Where it had to be like this big setup in order for him to do it, right? And now when I see him do it, I think of it just being fucking exciting, right? Yeah. Like back in the late 90s, for me, it was any kind of like the Kevin Nash powerbomb setup, right? The minute that he stuck one man's head in between his legs, I was like,
a rad, going for the rad.
This is money. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was that setup. It was the dramatic, like the look at the crowd before they did it, and they've kind of moved away from that into a little bit more of the more realistic, quicker, do the finish and then get the pin kind of deal. Right. But
Adam Page definitely does when he's on the ropes, like look around. Hey, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm doing this buckshot lariat. Also, hey, got to go back. On this podcast, I don't think we ever need to preface that our opinion by saying, in my opinion, because I don't think you're coming in here with anybody else's opinion, Derek. Are you coming in here and yelling at us with someone else's opinion sometimes?
Well, I know. I was just
giving you
they
come for original
I know a lot of
content,
people
Derek.
might like
original content.
buckshot lariat, and in my opinion, I fucking hated it. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to convince you with this one. Is what I'm saying.
No, I know.
And that's why I'm prefacing.
In my opinion, Derek, I appreciate.
Well, let me tell you. In my opinion, I will say in my opinion whatever the fuck I want.
I'm saying you don't have to. That's my opinion.
All right, no.
To speak my truth. Speak my truth.
Your truth, my friend.
Go,
I
David,
think to speak my
truth. Hear what you have to say.
I just wanted to let you know, to speak my truth, the buckshot lariat is very scientifical.
He uses that rope as a fulcrum.
Yeah. Therefore, he gains said extra momentum into the circumference.
Can we
said
sports
lariat.
science this? I need to see him doing it, and then I need like a breakdown with a.
You need like what
telestrator.
Remember Taz used to do Taz takes?
Yeah.
Where did that go? Bring that.
I think didn't they actually have a telestrator at one time for Booker T? Didn't he get one for a little bit?
Yeah, he did.
I swear he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wink.
And by the way, all of that Taz energy went into Hook. By the way, who made his debut this past week on Dynamite, or not?
Shout out to all the hookers out there.
Hey,
he's
hookers,
no Veer, but he's
hookers
awesome.
unite. He's no Veer McMahon. But Hook is the shit, and my fucking wife feels like a creep for thinking he's so dreamy, but I let her just do it. It's fine. We all think he's dreamy. We're all hookers, and we're all hookers. Come on.
I'm a member of the Virile.
Oh, the Virile.
Yeah, that's our group.
Yeah, well, nobody cares. All right,
that's you're not Veer supporters.
That's a very lonely group.
Whoa, he's coming, guys. He's coming to Raw. Veer's coming.
No, he's not. He got lost somewhere.
Where is Veer?
He came up to the back door. They asked if he was with Jinder. He said no, he's by himself. They're like, sorry, we can't let you in.
And then they told him maybe you should veer that way.
And then they high-fived and shit. Laughed in his face.
Slap hands.
Go veer to catering.
Thoughts on Hook's debut? Did he live up to the hype?
Sure. And that was on Rampage, right?
Yeah, I corrected myself. It was on Rampage, yes. It was and Neo was screaming at a television at a bar we were at, all by himself. He was trying to get these old white dudes that had no interest in pro wrestling to get into it with him, but the bartender a day later told me how much he enjoyed your antics. By the way, he really had a good time watching pro wrestling.
He loves it.
Yeah, man. Let's not forget wrestling is super gay, but it's super entertaining.
It's the best.
Right? It is the best, and it's for everyone. And I think everyone should.
Not everyone.
I mean, wrestling.
Not really.
It could be for everybody.
It's really not.
No,
for everybody.
They could open themselves.
There's some people we don't
it.
want to. No, there's some people we don't want in there. Let's go.
Oh, if you associate with bad guys, then yeah, I only associate with good guys.
I'm just speaking in the royal everyone. Well, your background's flipping me. Whoa.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Hook was rad. Actually, quite surprised with how fluid and professional he was.
To speak my truth, Hook was rad-tastic.
In my opinion. And in Derek's opinion as well, Hook more than lived up to his debut.
Speak for my opinion.
I can't. You don't agree with that? He more than lived up to his debut.
Look. I will give my opinion when it's my turn to give my opinion.
Do you not agree?
No. Well, you know what? In my opinion, he was very good, and he did live up to the hype. In my opinion, I very much liked his boxing. Tight. What do you want to call them? Shorts?
Like everlasting boxing trunks.
Yeah, you're a connoisseur of those, right? Yeah.
What does that mean?
What was that?
A connoisseur of the boxing shorts.
Connoisseur of the boxing shorts. Okay. It didn't. It was a little bit jumbled there, but we got.
I don't understand what you mean. You're a connoisseur of boxing shorts.
Is my mic cutting out?
No. I heard you loud and clear. Beak just doesn't understand the finer arts of collecting behind boxing shorts.
Man, look at this. Look
you actually collect boxer shorts?
Basic Beak guy.
Yeah. Look.
Come on.
Look.
I'm just learning new things today.
Yeah. Connoisseur over here. This guy. He's got two thumbs in connoisseurs boxing shorts. Me.
Yeah, it's a rad look. Apparently, he came up with the whole deal. It was his idea to fucking
get look like a Super Saiyan.
Personal music from Action fucking Bronson. That's amazing. That was his idea.
That's dope choice. Yeah. Tip of the
song
cap.
Was super good. Yeah.
I also use Action Bronson as a theme song, so I appreciate him very much for doing that.
Yeah, the whole presentation was pretty dope, and knowing that he came up with a lot of that's gives a good idea where his mind is for the business. You know what I mean?
It was just done really well.
Yeah,
honestly, when you think about it, right? Like his time in AEW, he's been around for a while now, and they I don't know if they actively knew what they were doing, but it's like a lot of things with AEW. I'm starting to feel like they do. I'm starting to feel like everything is planned out pretty well. I feel like his, entire placement in Team Taz and, getting into the mix and fighting and walking around in a tank top and looking studly and shit. Like it's all part of it. But, eventually we get around to their debut. And for some reason, it is not a like, oh, here comes another wrestler's kid. It was like, fuck yeah, they sent Hook, like that's how it became. And
with that phrase too, you got to give some fucking love to Punk for getting that fucking thing over, just saying send Hook, and then everyone catches on to that. Also fucking Fuego bumping for like a champ for this guy. Everyone, got to give credit where credit is due. He made him also look like a champ by taking those bumps so well and
for sure.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, and Hook played all the classics. He played all the classics exactly what
that's what I was really impressed by, that series that you just showed right there. That
was
really dope. The arm wringer, and then he pulls him up and does the fucking shoulder block, drops him right back down again. Awesome.
I was trying to find the clip where he actually puts him in the exploder suplex.
Oh yeah,
that thing was rad looking.
It's like a weird like T-bone. He like had the one leg and the lower body.
Yeah.
Like a big party back.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, a lot of suplexes. I dig it.
And then the fact that he put him in that actual Taz mission, I think was
the red rum. We're calling it the red rum now.
Red rum.
Well,
yeah, it's red rum time.
Or we can be real smarky and call it the Kata Hajime, but we don't have time for that.
I think you just did.
To speak my truth.
I think
in my opinion.
I think we should all call it the Kata Hajime.
Kata Hajime. That's what fucking Taz would call it. Yeah.
Well, it was badass, whatever.
He's sick as fuck, dude.
Call it. But yeah, that's Neo. I think you gave me your thoughts, and I got to see them live in action. But
yeah,
I just am very impressed with that. Taking a step backwards, though, I want to say was Winter is Coming kind of a letdown, considering all of the rumors and hype and other things that were supposed to happen at the show.
Yes.
And instead we did not really get any of that. We got an
Talk
hour
that
and
shit.
5 minutes of Wangman versus Yes Man. And then after that, we kind of got very little.
The
right?
the only spoiler or potential whiff of a debut was the whole Malachi Black segment.
Yeah.
You guys catch that?
I did. So I wanted to talk about that and see
it went over my head until you mentioned it. Actually,
who is the king?
Who do you think? The guy with his last name King.
There it is. Brody
King.
Brody fucking King.
His tag team partner in PWG.
It makes sense. It just 100%.
Someone who was just released from his ROH contract.
Well, and I think according to the news,
God
like I
damn
think
it.
he signed a
Yeah,
contract during Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah, after that went down on Wednesday this morning, later that night, it became brought up that apparently he signed. So pretty exciting stuff.
He done did it.
He
So
did it.
so the continuity is just now gonna go ahead and like spew over into PWG land.
Oh man, what if they? Oh, whew.
Sorry, let's just pick that back up. I mean, might need to just splice it together.
Oh man, what if we got fucking Super Dragon in AEW through some sort of PWG forbidden portal?
Holy shit.
Would you think he would be like a more managerial role, or do you think he'll still go?
No, they'd bring him out to be like just beat ass on somebody. He doesn't have to get his ass kicked. He doesn't even have to.
He doesn't even have to really wrestle. Besides,
he just goes violence party. That's all we need. Psycho Driver done.
He kind of deserves it at this point, doesn't he?
He honestly is such a icon of the independent scene. Give the guy his rubski. I know a lot of people don't like him because he just literally beats the shit out of people. Maybe that rubs people the wrong way, but I don't think people in the business give a fuck about that. So let's see it, man. That'd be super rad.
But I assume like what you're getting.
Give him his flowers,
into, right?
Give him his flowers.
Well, they've done that with a few guys, right?
Yeah.
Like Nick Cage got his moment.
Nick Cage.
Nick Gage.
Nicholas Cage.
You said
Nicolas
Cage. Yeah. I missed that shit. That'd be rad as fuck.
I'm
here to wrestle.
God damn you. Fucking anyway.
Yeah, other people getting rubs. Fucking Hoodie.
Yeah. So even if it's just for a match, even if it's just for a night, right?
That'd be cool.
I would love to see him come in and especially continue his rivalry with Malachi Black, because that's an ongoing PWG story that I still need to see more of as well.
Really? It'd be awesome to see him come out and stomp the shit out of the Bucks.
Does that does that stem like how long does that stem, the whole Super Dragon? And
did that happen the night they won the PWG tag team championships?
When that group debuted, they debuted and got in the face of Super Dragon. Like Super Dragon came out with I think Flamita or Demon Flamita or whatever.
Dark Flamita.
Dark Flamita and shit.
Or Demon Flamita. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And then the other guy stepped up. So yeah,
it
was Black Toadus. That was their group.
Black
Toadus and
so that happened last PWG show, like at the threesome.
No, the one before that.
Yeah, and then there was another show. They got the tag titles on the next one, didn't they?
Yeah,
yeah.
Might have been 3 shows ago.
Yeah, the group debuted, and then on the next show they won the belts. I think. I'm pretty sure that's how we're done.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but yeah, no, honestly, it'd be so killer for someone to bring him out to go after the Young Bucks, because that's like a blast from their past that they were like, oh shit, fucking Super Dragon, no, thank you, we want no part of this. And Excalibur could sell that so big. That is Super Dragon.
Okay,
so is it bad enough like the Bucks?
So if it doesn't happen, I'm mad.
I know you've made it too cool, because you're right, that's the exact thing I want to see happen.
So is it one of those things where like the Bucks have like PTSD towards Super Dragon?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, dude, they've had some guerrilla warfare matches at fucking PWG.
But didn't he join the last version of Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, he's part of Mount Rushmore. Yeah, he was part of Mount Rushmore 2.0.
Yeah, so maybe
it was them and Adam Cole and Super Dragon, right?
Yeah. So I guess they.
What if then he turns on them, right?
Like that was the whole deal. The whole deal was everyone was shocked that Super Dragon and the Bucks are working together. What the fuck?
Yeah,
dude, wrestling is rad.
It really is.
That's like so really cool. Just to like know that there's like so much intertwining of stories and different outcomes that could happen. It's just so cool.
You also
I like how Excalibur always drops like hints about PWG lineage, like while he's on commentary. If there's people in the ring that are PWG related, he'll make hints to calling all their kinds of matches to them, or he'll make hints about how Rick Knox has dealt with the young, like he knows the Young Bucks, like the history.
Yeah,
he's very subtle and nice about that. It's really
he just, there's continuity.
Yeah.
He talks about it like it's events that happen, right? So even if you don't know and you have no clue what PWG is, he's filling you in on the story, the history, right? Yeah. And it almost, it's such good continuity that it almost makes it sound like AEW's been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have all these stories and that they tell, and they're all stuff that's happened to these guys on the indies, right? You look at the Best Friends and the way that that group has had so many different incarnations, from Roppongi and Vice to the Best Friends that was just Trent and Chuck to Orange Cassidy in there. Yeah, exactly. Like it's great. And it's this weird, I was explaining it all to Jen when we were watching it, and it was just funny that I know because I've experienced it. And like there's times where I thought several guys that are in Best Friends were never going to wrestle again. So it's a great story as far as them coming back, and Trent especially coming back with Sue again. That was a really fun, cool moment. But
that's one of the best things about AEW. They're not afraid to nod to that lineage. Like they don't mind mentioning that all these people associated with the New Japan, or they were all together in ROH,
right?
Or even hints that they were in WWE together. Like
they fucking played Roppongi Vice's song, when they fucking
Roppongi Nights.
But what was really rad is on Dynamite there was that segment how the Young Bucks are going to end Sue's career.
Yeah. the way that Nick was so intense about it.
Yeah,
I loved that
her career.
I couldn't get over it. I just I couldn't stop laughing
Nick
about
Jackson is so fucking funny lately. Like the way ever since they started to do this really over the top shit, it's kind of like when you watch BTE, you think that you see stuff from these guys that they never do on television, and you think that they never would, right? That goes way back to like the Dark Order stuff that they eventually started to bring on TV that was so goddamn hilarious, and when you're watching it you're like, why aren't they doing this? And that's kind of what the Bucks have been ever since this transformation to this over the top version of themselves. They're doing all of this dumb shit that they've been doing on BTE for fucking the last like 5 years or however long they've been doing it for. And it's really funny.
It's the best. It's like one of the best version of the Bucks.
They brought the shoe game, the sneaker game to pro wrestling. So you got to give them credit for that.
They did. They are the inventors of the shoe game, apparently. They said in an interview, was it Complex or something like that, right?
They went sneaker shopping at Flight Club in New York, and they were dropping all the bombs. And guess what that does? All the guys that wore shoes before the Bucks were like, nah, I did that shit first. Yeah. But the Bucks made it mainstream. The Bucks
are also fished in. Like fucking the Young Bucks say something blatantly untrue and their heels in a magazine. Come on, they're trying to get some heat,
right?
Some breath,
right?
You can easily go back and fact check this stuff. Somebody went back and found a picture of B. Brian Blair wearing some Air Force Ones back in the day.
It's like,
that's the Killer Bees, motherfucker. Yellow and black Air Force Ones. That's the 80s.
But again, it's really like you said, it's hooking into the narrative.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
I've
always found those guys funny.
My favorite part about that interview is that Matt Jackson said that one of these days he wants to kick someone with a flaming shoe, and that's something that I know 100% without a doubt that they're going to try.
That's happened though, isn't it? That's happened
with a flaming shoe.
Yeah,
a super kick with a flaming shoe. I'm pretty sure it hasn't. I'm pretty sure it hasn't.
Give it a goog. I know there was a guy
Give it a Goog.
who was wearing like a turban on his head and tried to do a flaming headbutt, and yes, that did go poorly. You got to look that video up if anybody has not seen it.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Another thing there was that Adam Cole said he had a present for the Young Bucks. Is the present going to be Kyle O'Reilly? It's kind of the worst kept secret in wrestling right now, I feel like. But yeah, Kyle O'Reilly.
Why not? Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going around that guys are going to debut. Wyndham is a name that keeps getting tossed around that doesn't seem to ever come to fruition. And it's interesting because I felt like there for a while, AEW had this consistent run of anybody that was rumored to be signing with them, that it would come true. And now we're finally hitting the time period where I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but like we're finally hitting that time period where things are slowing up. Now, I will say this about Wyndham Rotunda is I wouldn't be surprised that if he had signed that they would be taking their time with developing whatever his next incarnation of his character is going to be, which would require potentially, a lot of production work and maybe, again, another mask being made or something like that. Sure. Right.
He's the friend. The friend
is here. Man, someone had
Could I be wearing any more gimmicks?
Someone posted a picture on Twitter the other day of all of their Fiend Bray Wyatt merchandise that they bought. And holy shit. I mean, like on one hand, this person didn't even have the ridiculous stuff like the fucking
belt,
the beef jerky belt or the mask itself. I don't think it was just all of the other stuff. Like he generated so much merch for WWE, and it's just so crazy to me that they just fucking parted ways with this guy. Like so much merch. This person literally had like a 5-shelf like unit thing, and it was just filled with all of the puppets and the McMahon puppet, and like little stand-ups and pops and shit of the Fiend. And
let's not forget like all the masks, the gloves.
Yeah, all the masks, the gloves, all of that stuff.
Imagine walking around wearing the hurt and heel gloves like a real human being outside in public. like no one making any conversation with you whatsoever.
I was doing some Black Friday shopping, and a lot of his shit was on like clearance. And again, I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked some of his stuff, but the stuff they were clearancing off that they're left with now or whatever, it's all of that, right? It's all stuff like, man, even with how much I liked him as a character, I would never wear that. I would never be caught dead in that particular thing that you're offering, because so much of it is pretty fucking outrageous, but it also seems like a waste. It seems like a big miss on WWE's part. I think that there's a lot of guys I understand. Now, I won't say like guys that have left, I won't say that they didn't give him a chance. They gave him plenty of fucking chances.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out in their opinion. And to be honest, yeah, like his wrestling and matches and shit were all fucking lackluster. But
hey, they didn't speaking know of wrestling, real quick. The flaming kick, I thought it was done, but it wasn't done in wrestling, but it was done in a movie. And that's kind of where my mind went. So okay. I apologize, but
no. I was curious.
I appreciate the apology.
This is the clip. It's from Ong Bak. Check this shit out real quick.
I think you're gonna get us fucking.
Nah, this is an old ass movie. Look at that.
All right.
Damn,
that's rad.
Yeah, that's exactly what Matt Jackson's gonna do. Exactly.
But he does that type of kick, that kick that he does when he's running up to the turnbuckle, sort of.
Yeah.
I would love to see that now.
It's probably gonna happen. But the other swing and a miss, I guess, on rumors, you could say, is that Kevin Owens was supposed to be leaving WWE. And has instead re-signed with the WWE, according to reports from Fightful.
Confirmed reports at this
point. Yeah, because and that's Neo, and that's no lie.
Wink. Speak my truth.
He's always speaking his truth.
He
doesn't tell lies.
He had went on a podcast, and I guess also confirmed it. And I guess it says here that Owens essentially said he's staying. I will be in the WWE for several years. The decision was pretty easy because it was the best thing for my family. Really, when it comes to that, it's always a pretty easy decision to make. Sorry. He's been at WWE for 7 years. He has a sense of belonging, but it makes sense. It's got to be for his family. I think Meltzer reported that it's somewhere in the millions, like 2 or 3 million is what he's making annually.
That's awesome. Good
why
for
not?
him.
Why not? Yeah, exactly.
Good for him. All I know is
he looked like he was having a lot of fucking fun on Monday. You got to admit that when him and Seth were fucking if you guys are still watching Raw, I know we all consider
I am.
just making sure. When him and fucking Seth were goofing off together, it seemed like they both were having a ton of fun. And that could be happy with signing a new contract and just saying, hey, I'm here to have a good time now. I got my money. Let's do this thing.
Well, let's be honest. That's what Seth has seemed like for the last I don't know, ever since he returned for this particular period of time, with the new music and the outrageous clothing and everything that he's doing. You know, he has his beautiful wife, you know, they have their first child. They're together. They so far have had the lucky opportunity to be on the same show. So I imagine, you know, that they get to spend incredibly too much time together, but you know, they're not away from each other. Right. And he just seems very happy. He seems very happy. And when he's happy, he's in this position to play.
Shows in his work.
Yeah. Play his character very well. And same thing with Becky too, to be honest. Becky, there was a clip floating around on Twitter of a fan clip of Becky. I don't know if it was at a house show. I don't know if they're doing house shows or what this was particularly at, but after a match, Becky rolled out of the ring and went up to a very young girl in the crowd and yelled at her for distracting her during the match, and told her it was completely her fault that she lost, and that next time she comes to town, it was going to be her. There it is. That's the clip. It is pretty incredible, right? It's the best of a wrestler truly being in their element and entertaining the crowd, giving, you know, a kid in that audience of experience they'll never forget. Shit, to this day, I never forget the day I was sitting in the Harlem Globetrotters audience as a kid, and they did the fucking bucket trick to me where they run around pretending like the bucket has water in it, and then they dump it on someone and it's confetti. And yeah, like, again, I am 41 years old and I fully remember the time that the Harlem Globetrotters did that to me when I was like 7, you know, so this shit sticks with you for life.
When it comes to that sports entertainment, I mean, they definitely can entertain.
Well, and I mean, okay, so looking at the flip side to everything that WWE has done, right? No offense to the people let go, not trying to discredit the fact that their careers have and lives have been changed so dramatically. WWE has really trimmed down their roster to be very lean, and to be honest, not really over bloated right now, like AEW can seem a little bit at times, but AEW does a great job of managing their talent and giving their guys like their individual shine at times and using them in the right way, so it doesn't really seem that bloated. There's just times with AEW that I question where guys are or why they're not being used on anything other than dark, like, you know, the typical kind of mid-carder guys that were there early on that have now kind of been pushed aside at times, members of the Matt Hardy's family, and of course
fucking Jack Evans
missing in action. Fucking, you know, he shaved his head. He got his head shaved for AEW, and where is he at now?
Janela's gone.
But the other thing too, like, let's not forget,
like
WWE did just sign, like, they're consistently signing talent as well. So although they've trimmed a lot of talent, they're still proactively signing talent. They're signing a different caliber of talent now, correct? They're more so looking for athletes. Yeah, athletes who are I don't know, maybe superhuman in some degree.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's kind of a philosophical change. You know,
it's almost becoming a new land of the giants.
Look, I talked to Chris Bay one time, and he straight up told me that AEW or WWE told him to go to Impact or some other televised wrestling company, meaning like Impact or Ring of Honor, get some time under your belt, make a name for yourself, and then come back and we'll sign you, essentially. That's how quickly their philosophy has changed, because Chris Bay has not been with Impact very long. And in that time frame, they have gone from wanting guys to be people who have created a name for themselves in wrestling already, to wanting people that we do not know, people that they will create.
They want clay to mold and shape.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe part of it is they don't like the backlash that they get from us when the guys that from the indies that they pick up aren't being used the way we want them to, or they're not
people
getting
still
pushed
complain about these fuckers too. They'll say, "Oh, he's awesome. How come you're not pushing him harder?" Honestly, a lot of it probably has to do with them just teaching them from scratch their way, so they don't have anything they have to untrain them. And if everybody's working together on the same page, it'll be more seamless in their opinions. It's going to be less originality. There's going to be less people striking out and creating unique matches, but there's going to be goods and bads. There's going to be awesome characters. Like having true athletes, like collegiate athletes go into wrestling, it's worked before. Like it's constantly worked. It's most of wrestling back in the day was all built off of football players, and they were all tremendous wrestlers.
Well, so, and don't get me wrong,
success, but it's going to rip away a lot of hearts from wrestling. It
happens the same when they created guys themselves and they let them go, right? We're just as mad about those guys as we are people that already had an identity on the indies. We're mad when we like them and they don't utilize them correctly, right? Like I'm really glad like Rick Boogs, for instance, is finally getting a chance to like wrestle, because I was getting a little fucking frustrated and fed up with him being like Shinsuke's personal valet when this guy and his guitar player, when this guy is such a multifaceted, multi-talented guy, right?
That made him expendable too. Just him playing guitar, they're like, why do we need that guy?
Why do we need that guy? Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Don't make them into a one-trick pony and then fire them because all they are is a one-trick pony, right? Don't go after a guy like Ricochet for his talent and his move set and then tell him he can't do half of the moves anymore that he used to do, and then also be upset that he's not as exciting as he once was, right? Like you're just
what's going on? These people don't seem to like this guy
anymore. Yeah, right. You know, and maybe that all leads to this, you know, maybe that all leads to this kind of point of view that they have of wanting to create their guys instead of bringing in people that are already doing their own thing. That way, like you said, they can train them the way from the beginning. And, you know, they have great coaches in place. They have a great facility. Why not? You know, why have guys with bad habits that they'll never break come in that you don't like?
Habits, you know, quote unquote. And then habits. The other thing, these guys are used to not being paid. So if WWE didn't pay very well, and they're used to being in a coaching system, so that's a natural fit for them as well.
Good point. Yeah. Whereas a lot of indie wrestlers really, I mean, they went to a school or they learned from somebody, but yeah, once they get out and they're starting to find success on their own, they really are kind of a lone wolf, right?
Yeah, but what you're taught on the independent scene is to think for yourself and care about your character and, you know, speak out for yourself. But in the WWE, they don't. They say they want you to do it, but they don't. That's one of the main reasons, apparently, Bray Wyatt got let go. Apparently, he was too opinionated about how he would be presented. And I can see why, because they kind of did stop and go with him a lot.
Yeah.
And his wrestling wasn't terrible in the ring. We were talking about, I just want to go on Bray Wyatt again, but that was one of the reasons. Like, they don't want that. They don't want people are overly mouthy. Until you are the top guy, like a John Cena, then you can probably get your input. I'm sure Seth Rollins can say what the hell he wants at this point. But
interestingly enough, you know who somebody I realized can at least get the ear of Vince McMahon is Xavier Woods. And Xavier Woods, we heard a story from our friend about how Xavier Woods essentially got Vince McMahon a loan at one point.
He got him a loan. Vince has a lot of money. He shouldn't need a loan.
He has more money than God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I said a loan because a loan is a word.
Exactly.
No,
he got a loan.
No. you're being an idiot right now.
But we don't have enough greenbacks.
He got a loan. He gave McMahon. What I'm trying to say is he gave Vince McMahon $50,000, and he told him that he needed to pay it back. Does that make it? Does that straight? No,
got it.
He
got him
Vince,
a loan to get.
He isolated Vince.
Yeah, he isolated Vince. He cornered him. No, I think Vince. If I'm correct, and Neo might remember when we were told this, but Vince actually came up to him and said, "If I make you king of the ring, do you have any ideas for where it would go?" And apparently Woodsy had 20 minutes worth of ideas on the spot for where it would go, right? And it reminds me of the New Day when they were kind of against it and they wanted to make the New Day this gospel heel faction, and he had, to convince them to go in the direction that he wanted to go. And it's like it was this constant, like, okay, we don't really trust you, but we'll give you a little bit of leeway to see what you can do. And every time he did whatever, it was successful. It was positive. I would think by now, with that kind of track record, that Xavier Woods would earn the respect to at least hear him out as far as his ideas and thoughts on things, considering he has been right in the past about a lot of stuff. And he really, when you question Xavier's like run as like the king of the ring and kind of the push that he's on now, the involvement with with Roman Reigns and everything like that, I mean, he does everything that WWE would want any guy to do. The way that he crosses over and he makes he finds a way to, he's a part of G4, he finds these other ventures and things to be a part of. He's a very popular person outside of WWE with people that don't watch wrestling.
Appeal. Lots of crossover appeal.
Right. And that's something that they love. So it's like there's no reason why Xavier Woods shouldn't, be in a position of kind of like you said, like maybe not consider him as high as John Cena, but good Lord, with the number of years he's been with the company and the amount of money he's made them on rainbow colored merchandise and fucking unicorn horns and cereal and shit, cereal boxes. Not even cereal. We were buying empty boxes for like 2 years before they finally started putting cereal in them. Yeah. At one point, yeah. But no, the very first incarnation of them was just an empty box. We bought it at WrestleMania with nothing in it. Yeah, just
how much was that?
It was like $5.
Okay, good.
And it was also nice because they gave it to you already flat. So if you were, because it was at WrestleMania.
Oh,
so if you were traveling, you knew you wouldn't have to mess up the box.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, when Woods was talking, he, like you said, he's a super nice guy. He was telling me about potential things that could happen for his King of the Ring character, and I'm very excited because he's such a creative dude. So, dude,
that crown, the super video game Mega Man crown is fucking awesome, and I love it so much.
Well, and the fact that
when I saw that, I'm like, is that
idea,
a Photoshop?
Yeah, right. It looked like a Photoshop.
And let's not forget that his first idea for the King of the Ring was, the Game of Thrones references, making a hand of the king.
Sure,
with
all of it. Yeah.
There's like a forward trajectory that's working for them. Just let him steer the course. Let him steer the course.
Right. He knows the references, and he'll bounce around from one thing to the next. And when something starts to get stale, he knows when to move on to something new.
He knows when to move on.
Speaking of which, I've really been enjoying SmackDown. I know we were kind of shitting on WWE there for a minute, but SmackDown has been really enjoyable. I really love babyface Brock Lesnar. He has been absolutely cracking me up with his best friend Sami Zayn. I hope he continues
from one Canadian to another.
I hope he continues to kick the shit out of Sami Zayn and then come back and apologize the next week and then do it again.
Because very Canadian.
It's that pattern. I can watch that pattern forever.
I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, no. I also,
what was that accent?
That was not. That was a bad Australian accent at best.
G'day, I'm Canadian, mate.
Let's put another.
I'm Canadian
on the Bobby, mate.
You got some maple syrup over there, eh?
Didgeridoo, dingo babies,
dingo. Anyway, they also had a best tag team match between RK Bro, New Day, and the Usos on SmackDown that the Usos won, and I really enjoyed that. Like it was the two teams that are currently the champions and the New Day, and the New Day came out on top. And I just love that. What?
I was on the impression that Survivor Series is the only time Raw and SmackDown go against each other.
No, they invited the bros, the RK Bros, over from Raw to be on SmackDown this week. Yeah, the Forbidden Door is open. Didn't you hear about that? Did you not know?
Supremacy.
The Forbidden Door is open. Yeah, the Forbidden Door let West Side Gun be featured on NXT. By the way,
that was so awesome. Like he's like, motherfucking WWE, show me love. They're like, fine, we're putting you on NXT.
Wait, but wasn't he really yelling at AEW at the time when he was saying nobody shows him love? I mean, like it felt.
I thought it started with the WWE. Like he's been repping for WWE forever, and they don't show him any love.
Well, I think it's this entire situation with like Migos coming in on day one, and AEW featuring wrestlers and people and like showing them on screen, and with West Side Gun, they just treat him like a fan. He's there in the front row with tickets that he himself bought. He's a huge fan. He travels himself to go to these shows. He pays to go to these shows, and I think all he wants is a little bit of love.
And then actually, he was the one that fucking that one Greg Hamilton said he was going to sue.
Greg Hamilton was going to sue, and
he
then
was
lost
swinging
his job
Vince's dick and got fired. Oh God. Yeah. Especially after that, like WWE should be telling your guy tried to sue my ass.
Right.
But I just think Grady showed up on NXT, huh?
I was gonna say it's NXT, and it's weird because NXT right now can kind of use that star power from famous people in the crowd. Like you kind of get used to it at WWE shows, and depending on what city you're in, they can sometimes have some big people there. You had on Raw the other week the Jackass guys there. They were heavily involved, and it was good. It was probably the right amount. They had him backstage doing a dumb bit with Matt Riddle, and then they were like at ringside during his match, but they didn't do more than pat Riddle on the back. They didn't like get involved or fight anybody or anything crazy like that. But it was it was good, and it was the right kind of celebrity involvement, especially
I guess
having backstage.
I found it. Yeah, he was actually clapping up both of them for both AEW and WWE. He's like, he says he goes to every pay-per-view, all these shows, and they never show him love somewhere else. So I guess, there's some credence to that, man.
But hey, shout out to T-Pain to really putting a sense of the whole thing, right? He had mentioned that, who are we when we do this with the money that we have left over? Let's not forget the guys who spend the money that they don't have, so they can come and enjoy wrestling maybe by themselves or maybe with their families.
And that's and that was part of it. T-Pain was catalyst, I think, for this whole post because they featured him on AEW when he was there.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I don't know, but I don't know if he West Side Gun knew that T-Pain is on the Go Big show with Cody Rhodes.
Big, right? Yeah, like that's why they featured him. It's a inner promotion on the TNT TBS network, and they're showing him there because he's one of their stars or the new judges for the show. I think he took over for Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. And then again, Snoop Dogg was on AEW.
AEW doing fucking weird
textbook stuff, right?
Yeah,
frog splashes,
doing weird frog splashes.
Oh my God,
that were entirely too close.
So funny. He landed on his knees first, and then. Oh, poor Snoop.
You know what the worst part about that was? Didn't he tell them to bring him closer because he didn't want to jump that far? But they knew what they were doing.
He's like, "You're too tall, Snoop. You're too tall."
Yeah. No, if you just fall forward, you'll be no. So
and then they also had, the match with Shaquille O'Neal.
Another rapper.
AEW.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
AEW again. They did it because they needed to. They wanted to. When West Side was talking out his neck about that, I'm like, come on, fam. You don't need to be doing that.
Look,
quick cloud chasing.
Yeah, I took it as both. Like I was like, okay, I can understand him thinking there's some validity in what he's saying, but also it's just all of a sudden, hey, WWE, AEW, what up? Like that's just kind of loud, and people might take that the wrong way,
Right. And again, it's about promotion. It's about having a reason to feature that person. It's about the fact that T-Pain wouldn't even have been there had they not invited him and wanted him there specifically so they could show him on TV.
But the squeaky wheel gets the grease, Derek.
The squeaky wheel eventually gets the grease, and that's why Westside Gunn is now gonna be somebody's manager in NXT, without a doubt. I hope he starts managing Braun Breaker. I want Braun Breaker to be part of Griselda. I want Braun Breaker on stage at Griselda shows, just screaming and shit. But before we go, I think we would be not doing our due diligence. We'd be remiss to not bring up Ring of Honor Final Battle, or as many have called it, Ring of Honor's Final Bow, because this seems to be the end of the road for Ring of Honor
until April 2022.
What's going to happen then?
Yeah,
they put out a little like, basically like a farewell, but they did put a standing date.
Yeah, they said they're back April 2022.
So they're basically taking off the first quarter of 2022. Maybe they're just going to revamp their financials, maybe.
Or that could be just lofty projections in hopes that could happen. But, you never know.
But they did eject everybody from their
WCW
content.
originally, yeah.
WCW
originally was going to just shut down temporarily, and they eventually were fully out of business and got bought out. So you never know what might happen.
So maybe help me put this into perspective, because I had a hard time wrapping my head around it. If you release everybody from their contract, right?
Yep.
But you're just going to take the first quarter of 2022 off. I mean, so I'm thinking they're going to have to redo their financials and then redo contracts for everybody.
Or not even do contracts. They'll do guaranteed money. They'll probably
do guaranteed money. Just start running it like a wrestling show where you're just paying people per booking. That way you're not preventing them from appearing elsewhere.
Yeah.
But
that was one of their big
streaming
problems.
Service and a TV deal and stuff like that.
Well, they're owned by Sinclair, who has its own television station.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was money there, right?
They weren't promoting ROH well enough to be generating a lot of money. They were spending a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Also, aren't they? They're part of Bally Sports now, right? So I'm sure that part of it is potentially the entire corporation now looking at it, and not just Sinclair Broadcasting.
Okay. Because the like, for example, there was a news that came up that that the ROH World Title is going to be defended at a GCW show. It's going to be Jonathan Gresham versus AJ Gray.
Oh, shit.
So that's telling me that the ROH flag is just temporarily at half mast at this point.
Well,
I think they're letting Jonathan Gresham do what he wants with the title because he's the last champ, but he's taking it to Terminus because he defended under pure rules there. That's crazy if AJ is going to be wrestling him in a pure rules match. That'll be really actually interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be at a GCW show. Actually, today's the 16th. It's going to be December 17th. It's going to be in LA, apparently. At the Ukrainian Cultural Center.
Hell yeah.
Seriously,
I get a kick out of that whenever I see it in like a wrestling show promotion. Oh, I wonder how the Ukrainians feel about that.
I think
good promotion, friend.
Just a representation of Ring of Honor going about in other companies, just like, wrestling pure matches and representing honor, keeping the spirit of the company alive could be really cool.
We have a company here, Party Hard Wrestling, that got pretty popular for a while, but it seems like it's not coming back. But I think the person that had the belt the last has been defending it at all sorts of different promotions, like Versus and Graps House and other things like that. So it's lived on, and it's a fun championship. So it's going to be different because it's like the Party Hard Championship. So it's always going to be like a cool, funny, belt that people can use. I think it's called the Multiverse Champion. So it was kind of ahead of its time, because now multiverse is going to be a very, very popular phrase going around here for a number of years. So it's a good belt to have. But
if only there was like some commissioner that we knew who could maybe book some matches here locally.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because believe it or not, I was made commissioner of IZW.
Heyo.
Say what?
Yeah. And I can book some matches and I can do some stuff. It's been a bit overwhelming, but I've enjoyed my time already as IZW commissioner. The first thing is, It's laughable how much money people ask for. Let's be honest. Some of these email replies, I laugh and I laugh and I laugh some more. But I do have some great talent coming in for the next show, which will be this February.
February 26th.
Monster. Yeah. And I want to address the rumors that Hawaiian Lion somehow intimidated me into giving him a championship match. Like he got in my face and demanded it. Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah, the rumors are true. And he did intimidate me into giving him a championship match. So
I mean, he is half lion.
He's
But really,
half lion.
You kind of were having the idea in the first place. You just kind of, he just gave you that little nudge, something you already planned to do.
He just, that's all. He just made me see the light. But
well, hey, now that you're like full blown commissioner, if you need an assistant, let me know.
I need maybe an assistant to the commissioner, but not an assistant commissioner. We'll get that figured out. But no, we'll talk later.
Show coming up this weekend.
You guys,
is
it a wax show?
It is Without a Cause, and we got a Good Fight show. But wax, I got to fucking call Nick Wayne versus Alex Shelley coming up this weekend.
Oh, that's okay. I don't think these matches are legal. I don't think Nick Wayne is old enough. Did his parents sign a permission slip for him?
There's a release.
There needs to be some sort of consent form. Yeah. It was probably one of those consent forms, Derek, where like, if you agree, don't reply.
Yeah. Tony Deppen is going to fight Nick Wayne, and Tony Deppen's concerned because apparently Nick Wayne is only a few years older than his nephew. And I told Tony to tell his nephew that he's next. That's what I'd do. I'd kick Nick Wayne's ass, and then I'd look at my nephew in the crowd and be like, that is you in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That match goes down tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yep. And me and
happening.
Tony Deppen are going to smoke some weed together.
Without a Cause, verified banger. Check it out, people.
That's right. Stop the self-promotion. Let's get on here.
By the way, I'm the commissioner.
Go over to IZW Wrestling. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Anyway, let's do winners of the week, shall we?
February 26th.
February 26th.
All right, I'll do
Monster.
I'll start off with winner. I'm going to give it up to Hijo de Vikingo. For the legendary AAA promotion, now the new Megachampion.
So how did that work? Did he just was there a tournament or something? Did they just bequeath it to
like
him?
They bequeathed it.
They did.
Yeah,
they did.
They basically did like they called in like all the heavy hitters from around the promotions. And yeah, man, it was a good banger of a match, honestly. You had like Bobby Fish, Jay Lethal.
Everyone was tripping, like, why are these guys in this match? But who cares? It sounds like a cracking match.
No shit.
But you know what? The videos that each person put out really made you think, like, yeah, like they have some sort of legitimate claim to it, maybe. But even if
they don't, it's some good shit talking.
Yeah, it's a good way to manipulate history. And
but if you know AAA like I do, anything happens in AAA. Hell, Ric Flair was at the last AAA, and then or at the last I was gonna call it
Triple Mania.
Triple Mania, thank you. Ric Flair was there. Fucking who else?
Rick was there. Fucking
actually, that doesn't surprise me.
I don't know. Triple A is just one of those.
He got in trouble for some stuff.
Doing the helicopter.
You think the Forbidden Door is bad?
Yeah.
Triple A, it's like a forbidden portal.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I love my favorite thing about wrestling in Mexico is like, fuck music rights.
Oh, it's
it
is the best.
Yeah.
Even when I go to like local like ranky dank shows, like people are coming out to like WWE music.
Well, that's
I'm all like, Vince no está.
Vince no está aquí. It reminds me of PWG. Because the music became such a ECW, big part.
Just fucking,
like it just became such a big part. And now guys have like music on the indie. Like we were talking about MJF and his fucking
personalized theme.
Yeah, it's not a personalized theme.
What do you mean?
It is not a personalized theme. fucking MJF downloaded it from like freeware.
Oh no, I know what I mean. Just like he decided early on this was his music that he was going to carry with him forever.
Right.
Yeah,
but he found a free song just like we did for this goddamn podcast and decided to use it.
I love his damn song. It's so good.
Yeah, did it. But that's a brilliant part about it, you know. By the way, speaking of that, I loved CM Punk coming out to his music last week and trolling the fans in Long Island, and I also loved him wearing his shirt about the reproductive system in Texas. He's really doing good work with his time in these cities now.
It was a really clever shirt. It's like, until you have one, don't tell me what to do, or something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, Beak, your winner of the week, sir.
The previously mentioned new Ring of Honor champion, Jonathan Gresham.
Oh man, that dude.
Who might
Dude,
I
did you
add?
even see Seth, by the way, retweeted his tweet about Terminus and was like, me and this guy have had some bangers. This is going to be an amazing promotion. Check it out. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a classy ass move by Seth, for real, you know.
Terminus looks rad too. He's like, he just announced Eliza Hall, who is a mainstay up here. She was like one of the 3-2-1 wrestlers and wrestles up at ECCW. So pretty excited that she's getting her break down in Terminus. So that should be a good show. I hope Makabe is announced. Like he sounds like the perfect fit for what they got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't imagine that he's not, especially if they've been scouting guys from your area, right?
Yeah, and he's wrestled Gresh before.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect fit. Let's not forget the rad ass music that Jonathan Gresham comes out to. That Sky High theme that he used.
Sky High is the fucking best song ever. I love Sky High.
It is such a great fit for that young man.
And I love even more that it's a white dude singing it, despite the fact that it sounds like it's potentially a black woman singing.
It's like it's like a modern day. What is it? Rick Roll.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Rick Astley.
Rick Astley.
What else is there? Oh, PWG, by the way, we didn't get a chance to cover it, but fucking Bandito. By the way, my apologies to Neo, because with Winter is coming on, Neo was sending non-spoilers in our chat. And it was funny because about 10 minutes before I saw Neo's message, I saw that Bandito was the next entrant in Bola. And then I got a message from Neo not too long after seeing that tweet that said Bandito. That's all it said, with a bunch of exclamation points. And my head instantly went to, holy shit, Bandito debuted in AEW tonight. And this motherfucker just ruined it by just screaming Bandito in our chat. And then I think I scolded you. And then I realized what was going on. And then I apologize.
It was out of line.
Yeah, I was out of line.
Yeah,
but
Bandito.
Bandito, Lee Moriarty announced today. The entrant number 9 is already talking that shit. Said he's going to come in number 9, but he's going to leave number 1. I can't wait to see how many entrants are going to be in this, to be honest. I know it's not going to be the normal 24. There's no way, right? It can't be the 24 without it being 3 days.
Unless
maybe it's a 4-hour show, yeah.
No, they're like 9-hour shows.
It would have to be so long. Yeah, because they would literally have to be
minimum 7 hours.
Because they would have to do 12 matches on day 1.
Yep.
In order to get it all in.
Okay.
And then there's no way everyone's getting 5 minutes. Everyone's going at least 15, 20.
You know how many hot dog ladies are going to be corralling around the globe?
My God. I am definitely leaving and come. Did they let us leave and come back? No, we couldn't. No, we had to go out to that side area.
Yeah.
That's why we got to go early and start drinking at the bar.
That's right.
Neo owes me a picture.
The other one is did we touch on this Jack Cartwheel?
Cartwheel. I'm not very familiar with Jack Cartwheel. But
so I've
heard really good things.
He's similar to Flick Kendrick.
He's like a he's like a very very
their
rustic.
Names have what they do in it.
Yeah, but he's like a very rustic Ricochet.
But he's a white guy, and he's fucking. And his upper body's insane.
Did you say he's rustic?
Yeah, like a rustic Ricochet.
What does that mean?
Like rustic, like cowboy,
not as polished.
Oh, okay.
Not as polished.
Rustic.
No, I don't think that's what rustic is.
Yeah. Rustic is like a cowboy or like a farm.
No.
Yeah. Rustic.
No.
Well, I actually
sure rustic
means
like old food.
Well, I got to meet him at the at a show here in Phoenix. It was for that POR Promotions. And this guy can go. Like he pulled off like a
relating to the countryside.
Yeah, so a rustic Ricochet. I stand my ground. He's a country Ricochet.
Ricochet's from the country. He's from Kentucky.
Oh, that's right.
Paducah, right?
Paducah.
I thought he was from Boyle Heights.
Different guy. That's a different guy.
Oh boy, but yeah, I got to meet him here in Arizona, Phoenix, and he did like a Sasuke special, like it was nothing, dude. Like this guy can go.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Like he's gonna be really rad to watch.
Exciting stuff. Can't wait. And speaking of exciting stuff, my winner of the week is none other than fucking Hook.
Hookers.
Good call.
Hookers unite.
I'm actually gonna put that in the write-up. It's gonna be fucking Hook.
Yeah, I just think that he is I don't know how to explain it, right? Like I even asked
Dreamboat.
He is a fucking dreamboat. Let's start with that.
Violent dreamboat.
Right. And I guess the thing is that he's well polished and they took their time to bring him out, right? Like they introduced you to him. You knew who he was. Had they done his match 2-3 weeks after he debuted, look at this fucking Calvin Klein model. But had he debuted, like a couple of weeks after, he showed up on the scene, it wouldn't have been as interesting, right? It's the waiting for it. And it was a really good move. Like, I don't know.
I honestly don't think that was the plan. I think they just, oh man, he's not necessarily ready. People are clamoring for this guy. Let's keep this fucker. Wait, it's one of those happy accidents where they realized what they should do because it was happening and they fucking capitalized.
Sure. Well, and I mean, come on, let's be honest. Sometimes, it, like you said, it might not have been the exact plan.
Yeah, like who's going to expect that Taz's son was going to become one of the most popular characters in wrestling this year?
And that's what I'm saying, though, is like, you never know because you don't know what their opinion of him was prior to this, right?
Yeah.
They might have thought like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. There might have been like some, hey, we need to have him, do some mic training and we need to have him do some more stuff before he's ready to like break out as a wrestler. And maybe now is the time. He's still, let's be honest. He was polished, but he still looked a little, he didn't look super comfortable out there. And I know it's like his debut and he's he looked a little rustic.
Rustic.
looked a little rustic, right? But only in very small ways at short amount of times. The rest of the time he looked fucking awesome out there. So tip of the cap to him for being the best.
He's an artisanal wrestler.
Kid of a wrestler. He's an artisanal. He's a charcuterie board of a wrestler.
He's a charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board. And that's only because women want to eat meat off of his chest. Well, we thank you guys so much for joining us and sticking around through this episode 458 of the Steel Cage Podcast. You can follow us all on Twitter. I am at Cap_Kman with a K. Neo is at the Neo X with an ECKS at the end. Uncle Beak is at James Vanderbeek. That's JAIMS Vanderbeek. What is Rocksteady's Twitter handle? Does he have a Twitter handle yet? We need to get
but he has an Instagram.
There. What's his Instagram?
Rocksteady Boston.
Yeah, everybody go follow Rocksteady Boston on Instagram. And of course, all roads lead to at the Steel Cage on Twitter.
He's a wicked pisser.
Of course, you can send us an email, even though nobody checks that box, at podcast@thesteelcage.com. And also go over and check out our t-shirts over at thesteelcageshop.com. We are the king of soft style, of course. We also have the Unfunny Nerd Tangent crew going hard in the paint lately. There's been a lot of stuff for them to take care of lately. They had the Masters of the Universe cartoon that they covered, the part 2 of that series, which I don't think really deserved 2 episodes, but whatever, they're doing their thing. Also, they did the Eternals and a couple of other things. So go check out Unfunny Nerd Tangent. Most importantly of all, go check out our friend Uncle Beak's Old Fashioned T-shirt shoppy. And it's with 2 P's and an E at the end. It's over at www.pentagonzo.com.
T-shirt shoppy.
It's old with an apostrophe, old-fashioned T-shirt shoppy. But you can go over to pentagonzo.com and get all of his wares and wonderful designs. Not a lot of time for this holiday season for you to go get something for your loved ones.
Some sales going on.
There are some sales going on, not to mention the fact that he has not one but 4 of his NWO/DX mashup designs up there.
I'm doing the reverse one, DX, where it's looks like the DX logo, but with the NWO, or it's going to say New World Order. Oh, yeah. I'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out, and he'll let you guys know.
You can mix match it with your fresh ass kicks, boys.
Yeah, get your fresh ass kicks and look smooth this holiday season. I need that Run the Business shirt so bad. I every time we scroll through here, I look at his designs and think about how I need that. But so many designs on here that still have not received a cease and desist order. So go on to his shop,
surprisingly enough,
and check that out. And that's all we got, kids. We appreciate you guys checking out this episode on behalf of the boyos. Neil, can you make this go away now, please? Because I need to see my notes. Thanks. Appreciate that. That's all we have. Do we have anything else? We have any other shows?
No.
The Aussie Top 3. I saw we have a new episode of the Aussie Top 3 on the Steel Cage as well. So again, check out all of the fine podcasts that you can find here on the Steel Cage Network. We appreciate you guys checking out the show. And remember, kids, you know what they say. Pie back's a bitch.